Audio check, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Brad. You can hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I prefer your background much better, sir.
I could do the whole rainforest and make it look prettier. There's a river right behind me, but you know, I didn't want to make anybody jealous.
Yeah, I don't like you right now, so.
Trying to get the agenda pulled up. Come on.
Good evening. This is the June 14th City Council meeting in the City of Rockport. It is 6:30 and we'll call this meeting to order. Would you all rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayor Pro Tem Hatton?
Oh, me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Before we get into other business, I have a recognition to make here. We have a letter that has been sent to us for technical services by Government Finance Officers Association, and it is to the City of Rockport for distinguished budget preparation and presentation. And we're going to present that at this time. Katie? So we have Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award presented to the City of Rockport, Texas for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2021. And we have had these for how many years in a row? 20th year in a row. We're very proud of our finance department. She's done a great job. Congratulations. Thank you. recommendation, budget preparation, city, proper finance for the city of Rockport from the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada, dated June the 2nd, 2022.
Thank you.
Before we conduct any further business, I'll have a roll call of the council people present. Ward 1.
Here.
Ward 2.
Here.
Ward 3 absent. Ward 4.
Here.
Is Brad in there? I'm sorry, I didn't see your face. It's good to see you.
Here.
Ward 4
Here.
and Mayor here. So we do have a quorum, so we can conduct business. Thank y'all for being here for this. Next thing on our agenda is citizens to be heard. At this time, comments will be limited to 3 minutes, will be taken from audience, persons who have signed the speakers forms located at the table in the back of the training room, the service center, and delivered to the city secretary before the meeting began, or written comments received by 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting on any subject matter that is not on the agenda. It will be read and summarized in the minutes of the meeting. Persons wishing to address the council and who have registered according to the citizens participation form will have up to 3 minutes to speak. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, council may not discuss or take any action on any item that has not been posted on the agenda. While civil public criticism is not prohibited, excuse me a second. I'm having eye contact problems and my junk is in my eye. I can't see it real good. Anyway, conduct of disturbance of the peace or prohibited by law shall be cause for the chair to terminate the offender's time to speak. And we have 3 people, I believe, who have signed up. Right. First one I have here is from Dennis Parker. Mr. Parker, can you come up to the microphone there and speak into it so we can record it? That would be fine. Mr. Barron.
I'm Ken Barron. I live at 402 Cascades in the Country Club, and I'm here to discuss progress on the drainage situation in the Country Club. Hurricane and major rainstorm season is upon us. It's been 11 months since the big flood of July 2021. Cost to Country Club members for last year's flood was in the range of $2 to $3 million for house and property repairs, temporary relocation, and temporary housing. What caused the flood to occur? 1, 27 inches of rainfall. There's nothing we can do to stop that from reoccurring. 2, the 3 main storm drains exiting Rockport Country Club are operating at a combined 60% of capacity. We can fix that problem. Our main objective is to restore the drainage system to 100% of capacity. We know that there are 4 main restrictions or pinch points in the drainage system which cause the widespread mass flooding. What's the progress to date made by the city for resolving the 4 major drainage restrictions? To date, not one shovel of dirt has been moved to resolve any of the 4 major drainage restrictions. On January 31st, the city proposed to extend an existing 42-inch underground pipe along Hole 11 to the Rockport Country Club Citizens Drainage Committee. At the March 9th drawing review meeting, the Citizens Committee agreed with the city's proposal and requested that the city proceed with final drawings. Andrea Hatman, our council person, requested that a bi-weekly progress meeting be held. Since the March 9th meeting, Public Works employees have not met with the Citizens Committee even once. Not a single completed drawing for the proposed project has been provided to date by the city. To date, the city has refused to make progress on designing solutions for the other three main drainage restrictions. The Citizens Committee has repeatedly requested the city to provide a drainage remediation plan for the overall drainage system. The city has never provided a drainage remediation plan to date. The Citizens Committee has repeatedly requested to meet with the city and the city's engineer to discuss drainage issues and possible solutions. The city has never made the city's engineer available to even discuss the issues. In summary, after 11 months, the city has provided no evidence that they are making progress at resolving the mass flooding issues in the country club. The documented failures by the city to address the mass flooding issues in the country club is pretty much the definition of intentional negligence. The city knows they are responsible for the drainage system. They know that mass flooding occurs in the country club. They know the storm drainage system is operating at 60% of capacity, and they know how to restore the three main drains to 100% of capacity. And still, they're
Have a seat, thank you. Mr. Parker?
I'm Dennis Parker. I live at 203 Olympic Drive in the country club. I have the dubious honor of being the president of the HOA, which is, everybody loves me, obviously. But within that, I'm here kind of following up with Ken. Ken's background, if you don't know him, he's an engineer by trade, spent a lot of time doing stormwater issues, whatever. He joined our HOA board specifically because he wanted to be part of fixing the problem out at the country club where he lives. He's done a lot of work on his personal time to figure out what the problems are. He's very qualified to do that. I mean, I was trying to do it as a chemical engineer, but that's not my background, okay? He's done it, he looks at it, he knows what to do. So he's speaking from a guy that knows how to fix the problem, okay? So at the country club, I guess we're just kind of at a loss of why we're in hurricane season again. And if we get a big storm coming, we're in no better position to handle it than we were last time this storm came in. And we're not talking about major engineering feats, anything else. We're talking about putting some pipes in the ground or putting some bigger outlet falls on some pipes we got, maybe cleaning some pipes out. You don't need a lot of drawings to figure out how to put a 40-inch pipe in the ground and run from here to here. You just need an elevation drawing. If you made drawings, the guy that's going to dig the trench is probably going to throw them away anyway and dig it and put the elevations on it, okay? So we're just a little frustrated on why we can't get something done. I know you got other issues, you got other money. So I saw your note, Mayor, that came out of, we've been talking about it. So if there's concerns of there's downstream pay issues or something, if there's anything we can do to help you resolve those, anything else that's going on besides just putting this as a priority for the city to get it done, please let us know.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Robert Carrier?
My name is Robert Carrier. I live at 122 Cedar Ridge in the country club. And I'm here, just would like to know how to get some activity on the drainage. The drain is, I came here right after the hurricane, moved here, and I live there. And the reeds have grown to the point now that they are surrounding our extra property, and it's right on the side of the drain. When I go out there to do any work in the yard, the foul water is so bad in that drain because it can't go anywhere. There are palm trees in the slough drain, whatever you want to call it, that have been there since the storm. A former councilwoman here came and she told me that there is no money. This was 2 years ago or so. We've appealed to other people, and I just want to be on record that I am hurting. This really devalues the property. We don't intend to sell, but if we had to sell, what the city is not doing is devaluing our property. At our curb, we used to have the groundskeeper cut the grass at the end of this easement. I stopped that because I want it to grow up. I would like for y'all to bring a sign like you do when there's a busted guardrail and say, this is our responsibility, not this homeowner that lives here. And that's about all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carrier. Next item will be the consent agenda. All consent agenda items listed are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in the normal sequence on the agenda. Does anyone wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Do I have a motion on the
Make a
consent?
motion to approve the consent agenda as reads.
Have a motion, is there? Second. Any further discussion? Forgot to look at the screen. If not, Ward 1. Ward 2,
I,
Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4. Mayor, aye. Consent agenda is passed. Item number 5 on the agenda, deliberate and act on approval of regular meeting minutes from May 24th, you're absolutely right. I'm having trouble reading. Everything's blurry to me, but I'll be all right in a minute. I keep wiping whatever it is off the lens of my eye. Okay. Number 7. Before I read number 7, I have a letter. Someone who wants to address this issue and would like to have his letter read into the record because he couldn't be here this evening. As to agenda item dated May 24, 2022, item 16, first read of the mutually agreed on RV ordinance, then today, June 14, 2022, item 7. I, Greg Potts, apologize for not being here in person due to my son's graduation in San Diego, California. But as the current president of the RV Association, I want to thank Richard Morton, acting city manager, for reaching out to the Chamber RV Association in cooperation with the city. Carrie Dietrich and Mike Donahoe for all document changes. Don Walker for organizing meetings. Kim Hensley for standing up for the RV Association inclusion and decisions. Diane Probst for the RV Park Tour idea and organization. For Michelle Lewis, leader of the association. For Nancy Bolting, standing up, some coaching and allowing discussions with the RV Association. Dean Monroe, also known as Skipper, for tying up loose ends and holding us together when things in his life had gone sideways. Thank you for the hard work of our steering committee within the RV Association, our mayors, the city council, especially Katie for being a raving fan and champion of our RV ordinance for the city. Thank you. We proved working on opposite sides of the tracks for 18 months and traveling in 2 totally different directions can be turned around with the cooperation of all involved. By listening and taking an added interest while receiving feedback can resolve issues that seem to be impossible to resolve. Add a strong leader in our interim city manager and we can put our heads together and deliver a final product in 2 months. Congratulations for a win-win and thank you Mayor, City Council, and our interim city manager for including the Chamber RV Association in our final approved RV city ordinance. Item number 7, deliberate and act on second reading and final reading of ordinance granting conditional use permit for 14 additional RV spaces and to bring the existing RV park into zoning compliance for property located at 217 South Fulton Beach Road, also known as Fulton Bayview Edition, Block F, lots 1, 2, 3, and waterfront east of 1, 2, and 3, an undivided interest in waterfront east of Fulton Avenue and Beacon RV Park, Marina Subdivision, Lot 1R, 2R, City of Rockport, Aransas County, Texas, subject to compliance with the conditions stated within the ordinance as well as those stipulated in the City of Rockport Code of Ordinances, repealing all ordinances in conflict therewith and providing for severability and providing an effective date. Have there been any changes or anything since the first reading? Nothing has changed. Any questions from the council? If not, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve agenda item 7 as presented.
Have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any further discussion or questions from council? If not, we'll have a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor, aye. Regular agenda item passes. Number 8, deliberate and act on second and final reading of an ordinance granting conditional use permit for 78 additional RV spaces and to bring the existing RV park into zoning compliance located at 1222 Highway 35 South, also known as S 1950 Forest Oaks, Block 1, Lots 1 and 2, City of Rockport, Aransas County, Texas, subject to compliance with the conditions stated within the ordinance as well as those stipulated in the City of Rockport Code of Ordinances, repealing all ordinances in conflict therewith and providing for severability and providing for an effective date. Any changes in this one? No, sir. Any questions from council? Do I have a motion?
I move to approve agenda item 8 as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion from council? Not to vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor, aye. Item number 8 passes. Number 9, deliberate and act on second and final reading of ordinance amending Chapter 118 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Rockport, Texas, separating RV park regulations from manufactured home park regulations, revising non-conforming use regulations, and providing regulations for recreational vehicle parks, repealing all ordinances to the extent they were in conflict, and providing for severability and providing for an effective date. Any changes? Okay, but it was also mentioned in the last reading, so it was there. Anything else?
Can we just get just a quick summary what those amendments were, please, if they were fixed?
The 24-214 regulation of recreational vehicle RV parks. Number 12, we added that states where they have to be connected to city water or wastewater if available. We added or permitted water well and an approved on-site wastewater system if city services are not available. And then in number 21, we took out all the that it had to be within 3 years registration. They wanted it just to say currently registered and ready for highway use, like it is in the other ordinances. So those were the 2
Thank you.
fixes. You're welcome. Any other questions?
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve this motion or on number 9 as reads.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion, council? Questions?
I have
Not.
something really quick, Mayor.
Sure.
I want to thank everybody involved with this. It was a long haul, but I think we finally got the product that is equitable to everybody, and we all worked hard on it. And I jumped on a lot of tables, but that's what I'm supposed to do, and I appreciate that everybody listened to me, and especially Carrie and Mike. So, long haul, it's great. I'm glad this is finally coming to a equitable conclusion for everybody.
I'll say that I can remember when this started before I retired, and that was 3 years ago now. And so it has taken a while, and I appreciate the fact that everyone worked with the council. We had council people working with them. Thank you very much. We have a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor, aye. Item number 9 passes. Item number 10, deliberate and act on the Texas Municipal League Health Benefit Rerate Notice for active employees and pre-65 retired employees not eligible for Medicare.
I guess I'll take this one. I don't see Casey. Mayor, council, TML notified the city of an increase in our insurance rates, or our health insurance rates. They were looking at a 15% increase across the board. They also provided the city with that option and then 4 other options. Tonight, we're recommending to the council that you approve option 4, which is the least expensive option for the city and for the employees. We're looking there at basically a 3.74% increase at a cost to the city of approximately $36,000. Just so you know, the 15% increase would have cost the city about $143,000. We are recommending some changes with that option. We're keeping the city's copay for the employees and their dependents. We are still covering 100% of the employee cost. So if you're just covering yourself, that's paid for by the city. The deductible is moving from $1,000 to $1,500. And the out-of-pocket is moving from $3,000 to $5,000, maximum out-of-pocket. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions, council? And requested action would be to approve taking option 4 on the TML health insurance city employees. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve agenda item number 10 as reads.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion from council? If not, do I have a motion? She's working on it. Danielle and Brad, can y'all hear us still?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. We see you now. All right. Do I have a motion? Okay. I did. You're right. Okay. Any further discussion before we vote? Item number 10. Item of option 4. Anyway. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2.
Aye.
Ward 3. Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4? Mayor, aye. All right. Next item on the agenda is item number 11. As I understand it, we have a issue with that.
Yes, sir. I would ask that council table this item at this time. We're working with the provider. When the quote they provided us, they re-looked at it, they examined it, and I don't think they're comfortable with the quote. So
Okay.
we'll have to bring it back to you with a revised quote.
Got me at the table right there.
Do I have a second?
My bad.
I make a motion to postpone agenda item number 11.
Do I have a second? Second. Any further discussion, council? Not Ward 1. Aye. Ward 2.
Aye.
Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. And it passes. We're going to get out of here in a hurry. If I can read the small print, we're going to go into executive session in a minute. Reports from the council, first of all. Ward 1? Ward 2?
Thank you. First, I just wanted to thank all the staff for helping me with my onboarding. They've been exceptionally professional and patient with me, working through just all the adjustment period. And again, thank you to Richard for answering my questions regarding the agenda tonight. I apologize I can't be with you all. I guess it's a friendly reminder to remain vigilant. I traveled for work this past week, and I'm under an abundance of caution, self-isolating due to a COVID exposure, but it's still out there. It's still real. There's still people that are sick. So stay vigilant. From our citizens earlier mentioning hurricane season, again, continue to stay vigilant with your preparedness, and also our continued drought conditions. I understand that we had a successful movie in the park on May 31st at Memorial Park for Concho. I look forward to attending one of those events in the future. And I think that's all I've got for right now. Thank you all.
Thank you. Ward 3, Brad?
Greetings from Costa Rica. Sorry I couldn't be there in attendance tonight, but I'm not feeling too bad about it. And I have nothing else to report. Thank you.
Okay. Ward 4?
Just to speak on some of the drainage area issues that we have on the country club, we did finally get a design for hole 11. It is not going to go out to bid, and we're hoping that comes into play, I'm sure, in the next couple of weeks, a week or two. I'm not sure how that works, but if Richard wants to make a comment on that.
Yes, the final design is in. We're waiting on the bid specification for that project. Once it's bid, it'll be out for about 2 weeks.
Okay, about 2 weeks, and hoping then it comes in front of council so we can move forward and get that at least one project in play and then move forward on to any other issues that we are having. Beyond that, I don't really have much else. Thank you.
I met with the Aransas Pathways Board the other day, and they're still looking for volunteers. So if you're looking for something to occupy your time, there are some great projects they have going on. And if you would be willing to check with them, they would love to hear from you. Other than that, after about 1 month in office, well, I have had several folks come in and ask me about things I knew nothing about and had to go find answers for them, which I don't mind doing. And I appreciate the opportunity to work with folks here as people come in. I have nothing else. City Council will hold an executive session pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code in accordance with the authority contained in Section 551074, personnel matters, to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, review the city manager applications. In Section 551071, consultations with attorneys seeking the advice of attorney about pending or contemplated litigation or settlement offer, and on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules and professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Chapter 1 Burnside Services, Inc. and 2 Concho Street Drainage Project. It is 7:02 and we are in executive session. Well. It is 8:34. We have returned from executive session. City Council reconvenes into an open session pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code to take any action necessary related to the executive session noted herein, or regular agenda items noted above, and or related items. After our time in executive session, we have reviewed applicants for,
Take a motion.
yes, I will, for the position of city manager. Do we have any discussion further on what we did or any other action? If not, do I have a motion?
I move that we announce John Benson, Richard Beverlin, and Leanne Piat as our 3 finalists for the city manager position in Rockport, Texas.
I have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? We have lost one member with us, but we still have a quorum. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2.
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. This resolution and the action of council passes. Any further action for tonight?
I'll second that.
We are adjourned at 8:35.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.